Center if you or a family member becomes ill. A message from the Ministry of Health and the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA.
We're back.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Amali. And we are joined in studio by a guest who is known on the airways already. So I'll let him introduce himself since he likes to be in things.
Good morning, Kevon, and good morning, Amali, and to the other hosts. And good morning to all of you who are listening via the different social media platforms. And let me say I am delighted to be here.
Of course.
And I look forward to fun and fruitful discussion.
About what?
About anything you want to ask.
You taking the vaccine?
Are you taking the vaccine? Are you taking the vaccine on Friday with the rest of us? In studio?
Well, I didn't know that you guys were taking the vaccine on Friday.
That's what Jade said. Jade just sacrificing real life and then I asked a question.
I still have to learn more about the vaccine and do my own research.
Oh, okay.
Versus you just telling me that the vaccine is safe and I just take it.
Right. The vaccine that has been in production for the last 8 months. You're going to start to research it now.
No, well, I've been doing my research for some time, but I want to.
But you aren't satisfied as yet.
I'm not. No.
But let's take the vaccine. No. What's the worst that can happen?
Are you gonna take it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the worst that can happen? We did it.
Okay. I
Come on.
don't know. I don't know.
That's light work.
I don't know what the side effects are.
That's light work. That's light work. That's light work.
But
everybody want to go heaven, but nobody want it.
You understand?
Hypocrites. Anyway, let's move on.
so, we have some actual questions for you.
Okay.
So let's start off with you telling the listeners and viewers a little bit about who you are and what it is you do.
Mm-hmm. Well, firstly, you guys know my name already, but let me say it again. It's Devonne Cornelius, the one and only. There is no other Devonne Cornelius.
That reminds me of Don Cornelius from Soul Train.
You're the third person that has said that to me before.
In your life?
Yeah.
Today?
Yeah. No, not today.
So you have a running count?
You
have a running count?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Strange.
But yes, my name is Devonne Cornelius, and I am a journalist here at WINN FM. But apart from being a journalist here at WINN FM, I am a youth parliamentarian. I'm a member of Sniper, and apart from that, I also participate in performing arts in the area of singing. Before I got into youth parliament and media and all of that, I used to sing a lot. But I don't sing now because I don't have the time.
So tell us sing where and see at what?
Well, I began singing in school, primary school, at a Black History concert. I sang Oh Happy Day. That was the first time I sang, and from that I've been singing ever since. I entered a competition in 2016 called Gingerama J Explosion. It's a festival that takes place in Nevis in the Gingerland constituency, and I racked up the top spot among five persons. I sang Barry White, Practice What You Preach. Never thought I would have been able to do that, but I did it, and I came out on top. I received the Performing Arts Award for the 25 Most Remarkable Teens in 2017. I am a part of...
Wait, hold on. So in 2017 you were a teen?
Yes.
Is we just old? Is we just old? Must be nice.
I'm only 20, by the way.
Okay.
What?
I'm only 20.
Enjoy that.
I'm only 20.
Enjoy that.
Yeah, he's 20.
I am accustomed to that reaction, but I'm only 20, by the way.
Enjoy that. Ain't gonna last long.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Okay. And, I've been singing and being in performing arts for some time, and that is who I am, apart from being in the media and being in youth parliament and all of that. I entered youth parliament in 2017. That was the Nevis Youth Parliament, where we came to St Kitts in that said year for the Commonwealth parliamentary debate among the different Caribbean islands. And then the following year, I went to Trinidad and Tobago for a symposium on education. So that's basically who I am. I've been involved in youth parliament and singing, and now I am in media. I began working in the field in mid 2018, and I'm here. I'm still here.
Tell us about your experience as a youth parliamentarian. Quite some time ago, we had some reps from Skype here in the studio with us, telling us about their mock sessions and the debates that they participate in. Are you involved in that aspect of it as well? Do you actually go into Parliament and debate bills and documents and stuff like that?
Yes, I have. A few years ago, I acted as the deputy leader of the opposition. I don't remember off the top of my head what the bill was, but I have debated a number of bills in youth parliament. I participated in one of the sittings, not the last one, but the one before. So I've been not just a part of the association, but I've been debating bills, and I've been a part of the different activities with Skype. But I wouldn't really say active, 100% active, because I reside in Nevis, so it prevents me from participating in all of the activities that Skype has. So I am a member residing on Nevis.
Oh, I got you. I'm interested in your career in journalism. Why journalism? It feels like, especially in this current climate where it seems everybody has their own platform, that journalism has, I don't want to say it's been dying, but let's say it has been evolving. So why journalism in this sense, and how do you feel about the current state of the field?
Well, firstly, let me say I began working in this field in 2018. I was volunteering for a program called Youth in the News, and after that, I just stayed there. They called me back and they said, we want you to work there full time. That was at Nevis Television, which is a government department. After that, I went into the tourism industry for a short period as a concierge agent.
As a fire dancer?
As a concierge agent.
As a fire dancer?
At Four Seasons. But, because of the pandemic and the drastic changes that took place, I decided to take a change, and I saw that there was an opening here, and I saw an opportunity for me to get back into the field and be more active in media and journalism. And so I am now here at WINN FM. But the reason why I chose journalism is because, if you really know me, I like to talk, and I like to ask questions, and I like to read, and I like to be seen.
You like to debate as well.
Yeah. I like to challenge you on every and anything that you say.
Yeah, I know.
And
speaking of that, right?
That must be really annoying, man.
No, trust me, Devon, he wouldn't annoy you. He just be like, were you really asking me? One time we were having a debate, right? And Devon asked me how I know I have a brain, because I've never seen it. That was
people them in high school, you just ban up in the alley.
Like, that was really his response to something I asked him. He said, but how do you know you have a brain? You've never seen it.
Well, yeah, so...
Are you also one that questions the existence of God?
If I question the existence of God,
yeah.
I question any and everything once it's relevant.
I didn't ask you if you question any and everything. I asked you a specific question.
Well, I have not questioned the existence of God, but I've questioned the existence of a God, because everybody has their own God. But can you prove to me that your God is, there and real and, all of that? But I'm sure you have your own God. Do you have your own God? Do you have your own God, Kevon?
Please don't ask me this question.
Okay, you see. So, it reminds me a lot of Jade, so.
People tend to run from these conversations. But one day, we shall engage.
I look forward to it.
You have the energy.
I look forward to it.
Devon?
I look forward to it. It's going to be a lengthy discussion, but I don't think you're ready for it right now.
No, I'm not ready for it right now at all.
So, yeah, I entered the field And I've been loving it every step of the way. When I was at NTV, it was more of a safe environment in terms of it was government media. So everything was like a strict protocol.
Yeah.
When I began working here, it was, in my opinion, a drastic change because you were open to all sides, government, opposition, you name it. And so there was no...
There's a
for
bit
lack
more
of a better
journalistic
word-
freedom.
Yeah, there was no bias to stick into one side and push in one side, but you were given that opportunity to talk on every and anything. And for me, that was like a dream come true. That was
Right,
like
I
a
could
dream
imagine.
come true. But journalism now, let me be frank, it is scary. It is very scary. And I don't think that St Kitts and Nevis is ready for investigative journalism. I don't think we're ready for any kind of journalism as it is now. Working in the field, it is fun, let me say, but you have to prepare yourself for ramifications, and
Of course.
a lot of ramifications. People think it's an easy walk in the park where you just show up to a press conference and ask a couple of questions, but when you finish asking the questions, you have about 10 missed calls.
Yeah.
You know, so
But you know something, just before you even continue, and I think I mentioned this to you, I've been at several either press conferences, launches, different types of events. And when Devon gets up to ask his question, right, you see the
hold on the
you see
side.
the people
The
at the
discomfort.
head table. You see them start to move in the chair like, but I hope this one ain't for me. Like it's an actual
I
thing.
hope that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. And I
It's a
think
good thing for the public, but you ain't ever getting a land on the house.
Yeah.
Oh, but I mean, and even that dynamic, I think, is interesting because, like you said, you would have been working here for not long
No, I
space of
began in
time
September.
and would have already cemented yourself as, you know, a force in what you do. So I think that's commendable. But do you feel that same energy? Do you recognize that?
I do.
Okay,
I
let's make
do.
it as one then.
I look forward to attending these press conferences. I don't
Like
believe
you're
in
rebelling
asking.
it,
I don't believe in asking Amali what is the color of his shirt. Because
Oh, I'm very
It's
glad you said
obvious.
that.
I know the color of his
Yeah, it's
shirt
obvious.
already.
I'm very happy you said that
Yeah, I'll ask him why he decided to wear it today.
because
But
I got you.
I love it.
because there are. I've spoken about this before on the show, the press conference, when the cabinet rolled out the stimulus package,
Yeah.
and the people who ask the most outrageous questions are people who are involved in journalism for over 20 years and 30 years. Some of them are even dead now.
What would you say outrage? What do you mean by outrageous?
Well, I can give one particular example of a
Very
question that
soft
was
questions.
asked. The Prime Minister outlined that the borders would be closed to all commercial airlines and sea lines and all the lines. And that the only vessels that would be allowed would be the cargo vessels to bring food into the country.
Right.
And the very first question when the floor was open was, I didn't hear you mention anything about flights from Taiwan. What about the flights from Taiwan? And the Prime Minister had to get up and reiterate, I did say that all commercial flights, I would have said a bad word.
The
What
borders
about
are
when you ask a
closed.
question? just not to cut it. What about when you ask a very straightforward question and you never get an answer, and you're forced to ask the question 10 times over, and you never get an answer?
That's jousting. That's jousting.
What about it?
Yeah, that's part of.
I'm asking you what about it, because you told me about that situation. So I'm asking you what about that.
That doesn't happen to me
Situation.
because I'm very disrespectful. And when I ask a direct question and people beat around the bush, I indicate to them, I say, you're not talking to an idiot. You're beating around the bush. And if you're not going to answer the question, say you don't want to answer it.
Yeah,
Don't insult me.
right.
So I wouldn't get to number 10.
Yeah, it'll be number 2.
I asked once, and then the second time, I won't ask again. I'll tell you exactly what you're doing.
I like that.
Yeah.
Get to the point.
But
Straightforward.
don't waste people's time. Don't do that. Don't do that. That happens to you often?
That's every press conference.
Every press conference?
That's like part of it.
Precisely, yeah.
that's
the question.
Is it
But
frustrating for you?
people train.
It's not.
People
It's
train
fun
in
for
that.
me. It's fun for me. It
It's like a dance.
shows that you're not ready for this thing.
There's jousting. It's jousting. This is intellectual joust.
But continue to hold them to the fire.
But that's what I'm trying to
And
do.
they keep
I'm a
them accountable.
journalist, even though some have said I'm a prospective journalist. I don't think
Who
I'm
called
a
you that?
prospective journalist,
No,
but
you- that's-
I
Because-
am a journalist.
Let me ask
I-
this question. So,
Disrespectful, eh?
so people always feel as though your age plays a factor in your
Yes.
in your professionalism. That you
Yes.
can't be a professional unless you're in your 60s or you're in your
Yes.
50s or you're
Yes.
doing this for however long.
Yes.
Because I find that some people who just start certain jobs are way better at it than people who've been sitting there for 20,
But
40 years.
That's the point I've been trying
So-
to bring across.
How do you manage being in a room with the people who call
feel they
you,
know it all
who
and
look
yeah.
at you and say prospective,
Mhm.
and how do you get them to take you seriously when you're here to do exactly what it is you know how to do?
Well, you just have to do what you have to do. As I said, I began working in this field 2 years ago, and at that time, people thought I've been working in journalism all my life, but I'm only 20. So I believe in whatever you do, you have to do it to the best of your ability. When I face a situation like that, people will say, "Oh, you don't have a degree in journalism, so you're not a journalist. You're only 20, so you're not a journalist." And we have persons who are in their 30s and have degrees, and they don't know nothing about the field. I don't believe. For me, being a journalist is getting information for the people, because when you walk the streets of Charles and Bastille and you're in the bars and restaurants and you hear the kind of conversation that people have, the questions that they ask, you're baffled. You're like, wow, why wouldn't you ask this question on a public platform? But they may not be in a position to do that, and so I do it for them.
Right.
Half of the questions that I ask at these press conferences is not really my own question. It's just that I tweak them. It's the question from the people,
Right.
and it's answers that all of us would like to get someday, one way or the other.
Right.
And so, working in this field, I have been told, I don't think you're a journalist. I think you're a prospective journalist. You're young. I mean, I am not a veteran. I am not a veteran, but I think at this stage I am a journalist.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, I'm talking to you.
And I want you to talk to them because I find that to also be a very disrespectful
call him.
statement because it's discrediting, and people in the community always want to jump up and have this statement of, oh, young people need to do this, young people need to do that, but then the same people shouting and hollering, young people need to do this and that, are the same people that's going to turn around and discredit you and call you
Right.
things like perspective.
Right.
It's disrespectful because had you turn to that person and say, your perspective,
Ageism is a
you're
real thing.
one too. You're one too because I don't think you're at that level yet. I'm
Right,
pretty sure
right,
that
right.
person probably would have just exploded.
Right.
Listen to
right.
me.
It's
But
re-
it all has to do with ageism, where people
It
think
is.
because of your age, you're not.
Yeah.
It's a real thing
You know.
because somebody wouldn't refer to a fresh police officer as a prospective police officer,
Precisely.
or somebody who just finished med school and they finished their internship and they're actually working up JNF as a prospective doctor.
Right. And you just get your law degree and you just pass the bar.
Yeah, practicing law, but you're a prospective lawyer. Give me a break.
So, I mean, that is my point. But I love working in the field. It's fun. I love asking the hard questions. I love doing what I do. And I hope to have a long career and a very exciting career. And I hope to get a lot in the house, as Amali said.
But it's interesting. The traditional types of journalism and media and working at a established company like WINNMedia. How is it, or do you feel like there's this competition between what you guys do and the informal German journalism, the informal sources of information that people seem to want to sift through on a daily basis? And how do you remain relevant in such a noisy environment?
Well, firstly, let me say, I don't think it is a competition, but I realize over the past months, especially during the COVID, you had a lot of people who they went sleep as, I don't know, a doctor, and they woke up as a journalist or a media professional. And so there was a lot of misinformation and, a lot of false and fake news going around. And I think not just us here at WINN, but other established media companies in St Kitts and Nevis and across the region had to compete with these other, I think entities is the wrong word, but these other individuals and people had to compete with them in terms of getting out the accurate and right information.
Right.
How it is now, people are looking for quick information because that is news. News is now. News is right now. And if you can't bring the
instant
information now, then in my opinion, it's not news. At the same time, pushing out an article or a story just because you want it to be in the news category is or could be dangerous.
Dangerous, right.
Because you're putting out information that is false. And we all know the power of the media.
Right.
You put out false information and everybody is relying on what Kevon said. Everybody is relying on what Amali said. And so they say, well, he said it and he's a journalist.
Right.
So relying on what you say. So you have to be careful. You have to understand that, yes, even though you're trying to push out the news and push it out now, you have to make sure that what you're saying is accurate. Because
You have some responsibility as an actual journalist.
it's going to go far and wide.
Yeah, you have and that's the thing. You have some responsibility that unfortunately other people, some of these persons that you mentioned, don't have and really have no regard for. People just forward things and share things and with the opinions, without even second guessing, fact checking any of that. Whereas as a journalist, you recognize the responsibility you have and the power that you have based on your voice and the reach that you have. So, I mean, I think that is such a incredible dynamic to have to navigate, because it's like I said, it's so, I think Amali mentioned it this morning. It's noisy out there. There's a lot of noise.
It is. But you see, you can't really tell people what to share and forward and like and post, whatever. But as a journalist, it is your job to take that information and fix it up. So if it's false, you try to find the correct information, the accurate information. But I realize these days, people want the news now. You want to know that if somebody was shot or if there was an accident down the road 2 minutes ago, you want the information now. You want all the details, which is not in most cases possible, but that's just the way it is.
Do you think that we're living in an age where, as it relates to how some people, or let's say the majority of people, share information, that it's more important to be quick than to be correct?
Yes, people want the information now, as I said before. Sometimes they really don't care if it's accurate.
Right.
They just want to know
Something
that
going on.
something is happening. They want to know that something is happening. But just before I go, I wanted to say, with journalism and working in this field, I think we are afraid of what journalists can do. I think we're afraid of that. Because if we were to have some real journalism, not just talking about now, but if we were to have some real journalism, it would be some problems in this place, in St Kitts and Nevis and across the region.
Right.
And if you get the answers for some of the questions that you ask, it will be hell to tell the priest.
Things turn up.
Things will definitely turn up. But the society is small. The society is very small. The community is small. Everybody knows everybody. And to be frank, some people are not ready for that. So, very unfortunate. But
Yes, hold on, before you continue. Some of these people you're talking about, were you also suggesting some journalists may not be ready for that as well?
of course, there are some journalists that are not ready for the field. As I said, I know of some journalists that would ask Amali that his shirt what the color of his shirt is when they see that it's orange.
Relevance as well is very important.
I don't.
Like I
believe
would come
in
to
doing
speak
that.
about something else, and you're asking about my shirt that ain't got nothing to do with what we come to talk about.
I don't. That doesn't make any sense. If you ask me,
Yeah.
you
Like a
stick
jo-
straight to the point.
Like a journalist who asked the Prime Minister at the rollout for the stimulus package that he disappointed that he didn't make mention of God
Well,
in his presentation.
that's just how they feel about the situation.
There, why you point on me?
I'm sorry. Sorry, I thought he was referring to you.
We done. We'll be done.
But
No, we done.
yeah, okay. But I love working in the field, and I look forward to having a good career in the field. And I just want to encourage other persons who work in the field to stay committed. What keeps me going is when I get challenged. Yeah, it really keeps me going when somebody challenges me, and I love the challenge. I love to have good discussions, and you have your views, I have my views. I tell you why I think this way, and you tell me why you think that way. And at the end of the day, we move forward. We disagree to agree. We agree to disagree, and we're all good.
You
But-
go home with some new insight. That's how I see it.
You did what? Sorry?
When conversations like that, for me, I view it as you go home with insight.
Right,
'Cause
right,
You now get a different angle on a topic.
right.
Whether you agree to it or not, you now have a new angle. So
Yeah, I mean, I still think that the fire dancing could have worked for you.
I think so too.
But, journalism is aight.
I love it. Anything else that you would like to? Well, I see it's now the 10 o'clock hour, so.
That's not your job, sir.
I know, but just want to make sure you guys have any more questions to ask.
Well, please tell the people that you are also a host of Voices.
And I think they would know that, but yeah, I host Voices and I host Inside the News. I've been doing it since September when I started, and it has been an amazing journey ever since. Having discussions with politicians, people in the medical field, and people in the education field. I love it. Voices has its own, what should I say, niche or audience, and so I love doing that, and I love doing Inside the News. But sorry, I love it. I love it. So, in a nutshell, that is who I am. Maybe on another program, I would be able to go more in depth, but it's journalism, media, singing, and youth parliament.
Yeah. Sweet.
Sorry. I'm trying to look at myself.
Good luck with that.
And this is why we're taking the vaccine live on air next week.
I think you should get vaccinated for sure.
You just say you finished doing this, but you want other people to take it.
You should get vaccinated.
Oh, okay. No problem.
That's his
Anyway.
insight.
Anyway, Don Cornelius, it was lovely speaking to you. And we do wish you, all the best on your journey as a prospective journalist. They got manners
Disrespect.
out of place. But yeah, we do wish you all the best and all the successes and all the excitement, all the thrills and frills of journalism. And obviously you have a knack for it and you have a passion for it, a love for it. And they say follow your heart and everything else will follow after that. So
Thank you. And
do great things and make us proud.
I look forward to coming back. I look forward to having
We'll think about it.
a follow-up discussion. Well, Jade will think about it. Jade will keep me in the information.
And that's the black you use. You
But-
can touch in the alley after school.
But thank you guys so much for having me, and I wish you guys well and stay safe. And don't forget to wash your hands. I like to say wash your hands because some people don't wash their hands. But
Yes.
thank you.
And some people don't hush them out either.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, we've come to the end of the show on this wonderful God-given Tuesday here in the
Thank you
Federation
guys
of...
so much.
With the show ain't done.
Oh, we ain't done?
We're wrapping up.
Yeah, him in the middle of a sentence.
Don't disturb
Oh,
it.
are you not ready to go?
Have a seat, please.
So wait, this live on camera?
Yes, and you just let the nation know you ain't got no manners.
Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. I thought the show was over.
Who is you? Baloo the Bear from Jungle Book?
I know.
Anyway, we've come to the end of the show. I'll start over on this God-given wonderful Tuesday here in the Federation of St Kitts and Nevis.
Lovely.
I thought you were going
Some artists was here and they say St Kitts and St Nevis. It was by Rick Ross.
I can't remember who's doing it.
I think it was Rick Ross.
I thought you were going to say St.
Oh,
Kitts.
yes, yes.
When he came for the CPL thing.
CPL. Yeah.
St Kitts and St Nevis. Special good morning to all our St Nevis folks, listeners this morning.
Including Devonne.
He's from Nevis?
Yes, I'm in the vision.
I was listening.
Just to note, I get highly annoyed when people say St. Kitts only as if Nevis doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's okay.
St. Kitts and
Well,
Nevis.
some feel it shouldn't. But
Some feel
that's a
Nevis.
different conversation.
Well, it's a different conversation for real.
Good morning, Nevis. We love you. Anyway, we're leaving. So, folks, please drive safe. Tomorrow is Hump Day.
Hump Day.
Can't wait. So, please drive safely and do right by others. Please use our roundabouts correctly. Meaning, don't overtake in our roundabouts. Don't switch lanes in our roundabouts. And when you're exiting, please, indicate so that folks driving behind you can know what your intentions are. It will reduce accidents and almost accidents by significant proportions.
Why?
You see me the other day, you know?
The signaling?
I put on my indicator and I hear behind me. Just going to overtake.
Stay in your lane, people.
Stay in your lane, figuratively and
literally.
Also, please let us remember to park our vehicles in a manner which is conducive to the collection of garbage from our friends at Solid Waste. If you park your cars irresponsibly, then people can get their garbage collected with the trucks.
Clean.
And what we found out today is that most times it's people who ain't supposed to be there.
People who going to thief a piece.
So, gentlemen, when you're thieving a piece, please park around the corner,
right,
so the truck can get up the street or where your madam lives to collect her trash.
Indeed. It might work out better for you too. Indeed.
It's going to be a clean environment when you get there the next time. Also, let us please, put pressure on our lawmakers and our policy makers and our policy designers and wheelers and dealers in Parliament to take a look at our outdated laws, all of them. The traffic laws, the sexual assault laws, the everything as it relates to, so that they can relate to current day life and current day society here in St Kitts and Nevis. Update them so it's a reflection of what's actually happening and not what used to happen in the 1960s. And with that, I will turn it over to our Master of Ceremonies, His Excellency Honorable Kevon Hanley. Honorable, you have the floor.
And remember, everybody, you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug. Goodbye.
You may leave now.